Um, Ryan, today on the show, it has been requested that we have an extra good show. So whatever that means, we're going to be
I was
talking
going to
about.
ask that too. I don't know. I barely know why. I barely know why people tune into this program other than to get groundbreaking information, David.
Ryan, we're going to be talking about Tucker and Ted Cruz interview. I have watched most of it, but I got some good clips from it as well.
I unloaded on Ryan, and you're like coming in hot with this stuff. Look at his face
we
right
have to get rolling. We're already late. You're yelling about your parents' Jerry Springer life. We need to jump on this.
Dave, just shit on my lawn and get it over with, all right?
Cat Turd has a tweet about why you should blindly follow politicians. Randy Fine talking about why war is messy, but only if it's non-Jews dying. We have a literal gay black 007. Ryan, we need to.
They did it. They did the black 007, Dave.
Well, hold on. We got it.
Oh,
listen, we're just gonna get to all of it, but what do you, as we always do, Ryan? What do you want to lead with here?
Remember, extra dude, I need it to be the best show of your life.
Every millimeter of my penis wants the fucking 007 tranny. I will wait. I'll lick my fingers at the end, David.
I knew that was coming. I already had it pulled up. Amazon, the same one who's making, is it Amazon or is it HBO? Who's making like the DEI Harry Potter now? Was that HBO?
HBO.
So no, this is Amazon, not HBO. They're reportedly considering somebody named Rebel Ridge, who I've never heard of, for the next James Bond role. As you can tell from the picture, he's not James Bond. Ryan, we talked about this before, but fuck it. Let's give us a refresher about why gay black 007 doesn't work.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, 007, David, was based on a real person who was a badass, okay? And he, like, murdered Nazis and slept with their wives and was a super secret spy, and it's based on these people. This is, like, based on, loosely based or partly based. We're gonna gronk this fully. But it's based on something Fleming, right? And the guy was a spy. He's a white Englishman. Gay black is not it, dude.
Not anymore.
Hold on. So to be honest with you, and I've never even. I'll be completely upfront. I've never
just
been the biggest James Bond
history.
fan. I've never been the biggest James Bond fan, and that's fine. But to me, whether he's based on a real person or not, the fact is, James Bond is historically been the same thing. So to change it, like, just either make your own thing. This is the thing I never understood. But who is James Bond? Whoa.
Where did the story James Bond come from? Like, based on, yeah.
Created by Ian Fleming, isn't based on a single historical figure, but draws from multiple real-life inspirations. Fleming, a former naval intelligence officer, pulled from his own experiences and people he encountered. Key influences include Conrad O'Brien,
super black,
for French. Apparently, he was French with a stutter. A British spy Fleming met in Austria. His charm, skiing skills, and espionage work shaped Bond's suave persona. Wilfred Dunderdale, which is a very unfortunate name, an MI6 operative known for his debonair style and wartime exploits, including liaising with French resistance, his sophistication and gadget use, like a trick cigarette case, echo Bond. Dusan Popov, a Serbian double agent who worked for MI6, his playboy lifestyle, casino visits, and missions, including warning the FBI about Pearl Harbor, mirroring Bond's flair and daring. Patrick Dazzlejob, naval commando whose unconventional tactics and loyalty inspired Bond's resourcefulness and disregard for bureaucracy. Fleming's own fantasies, bleeding his intelligence work with exaggerated traits like womanizing and martini drinking, drawn from wartime colleagues and clubmen like those at Boodles.
Yeah, it's just this be like turning fucking T'Challa white and Marvel. People be upset about it. This be like shooting a 50 Cent movie and making him white. You know, like
But
David, to
why?
your point, do your own thing, make your own black bond. Why wouldn't there be a black bond already? You could almost call it black bond, you know?
You would just literally just call it anything else and make whatever spy movie you want, and the guy's black. But
Yeah.
here,
That could be the
here's the
same
thing, and
exact. It could be Casino Royale with a black guy and just name it something different. Like,
I know why they don't do it, because we all know who controls Hollywood. But like, if the right ever got to a point where they controlled Hollywood, I hope they flip the script completely. I would love to see that. We're just gonna make anything that was black culture or Hispanic culture. We're just gonna remake it with all white people and just say it's for cultural diversity or some stupid bullshit. I'd love to do that. I mean, we can't have, and they do this with everything. So the Bond isn't like super surprising. They've turned everybody black, or they've turned everybody gay, or both in a lot of cases. And like I said, they're literally in process of making DEI Harry Potter, and they don't even allow J.K. Rowling near the set of the real life creation of the thing that she fucking created.
she's gonna destroy it because there's not enough gay black trannies.
And so it's not surprising, but we see this in movies all the time, where it'll be like, oh, it's 17th century France, and then like the Queen's black, and it's like, what are we doing? A lot of black royalty in 17th century France.
Black Cleopatra, David. She's Greek.
Like literal historical
how-
figures. There's no shame in it. There's no shame.
Yeah.
They are in your face about it.
Isn't
So
it crazy? They also think Mediterranean white people aren't, just because they look tan, that they're not white. I don't know, it's just I look fucking Muslim if I'm outside long enough. Like, don't tell me that. It's crazy. Irish people don't tan, right? They just burn. That's the whole thing.
Well,
like,
that's kind of partially what's funny about. We talked about this a little bit on vacation, but like the white Jesus thing, like.
Mhm. Was
To
he
your
white
point,
or
Ryan,
just really tan?
to your point, Ryan. Yeah, he's tan. He's probably going to look Middle Eastern. So, but he's still Jewish, right? And it's like, what are we supposed to do with this? Either make him
Yeah,
look
if
like
you
Ben
put him in
Shapiro
England,
with a beard, or you make him look like fucking Drake. I guess I don't know. What do you do?
if you move Jesus to Canada out of Bethlehem, does he turn like pasty
He's
white
going to
like
look
an
like
Irishman?
Jesus that everybody thinks of
Wait,
Jesus when they think Jesus. It's Jesus who moved to Rome, I guess.
North America Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know.
North America Jesus. Oh my god. He's just eating cheeseburgers, shooting AR-15s. Every church Sunday starts with a flyover.
So what?
Oh fuck, dude.
What
Yeah,
is the point?
why
What
make
is
Bond
the
black
point of
and
this,
gay?
though?
Yeah. Why make you want my honest opinion? Greatest imagination ever, David.
Go.
I bet you if you look historically, people that watch Bond films probably like white people.
The people who watch it like white people, or they are white people?
No, I bet you it's a white thing.
James
But
Bond?
everybody,
100%.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. It's a white thing.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. So
Go to your
where-
black friend's house and ask him how much he likes James Bond.
James Bond. Yeah, it's not. No, he likes like Scarface. You know, like that's like
Hispanic culture.
No, but-
The right takes over Hollywood. This is my dream. The
Fucking-
right takes over Hollywood. We remake Scarface.
I play Scarface.
It's gonna be like the dude from Twilight or something is fucking Scarface.
Robin Madison, dude.
He's Batman, he's Scarface, he's a gay vampire. It would be great. I'm sorry, he's a bi vampire.
Transsexual vampire. Dude.
Transylvania.
Transsexual Vania.
I don't
What the fuck, dude?
so is this just they can't help themselves though? Because like what do you really actually get out of making Bond gay and black?
Yeah, is this V for House of Cards, Dave? I don't know. Somewhere, it's got to be somewhere. But look,
It's not for ratings.
someone
this.
greenlit it. Somebody said yes. Somebody super high that gets paid billions. They did this with DC Comics. People don't know this because they've been sucking Marvel's dick at the movie theater. DC makes better books, people. It's just the fucking way it works. It's always worked. Sorry. There's years that everything switched, sure, but overall, fuck you, Batman's the greatest. But they started doing that back then, and they did it now. DC went super overboard, and it was owned by Warner Brothers, and they doubled down on DEI, and they bankrupted everything. They killed all their intellectual property because the fans are like, you can't make Batman black and gay. And they didn't buy it. And they knew that was going to happen. There's no fucking way.
Not in movies, like in the comics?
Comics, yes. They did it in the comics.
Okay.
They made they changed Robin to a girl once in the 80s, and that was probably a little controversial. And I'm not just talking, like, look, if anything, comic books, honestly, to be honest, they really push modern media more than people even realize, just because of the way that the art form is laid out. It actually allows, like, for a different layer of storytelling, because you allow, like, introspection with your characters. But, like, it pushed, like, a lot of pop culture was pushed through comics in the 80s and 90s, because they were able to display things very cheaply. They just fucking drew the imagery, you know what I mean? So they could portray a lot more, like the Batman The Dark Knight Returns book, when he kills Superman, is all, they basically blame Reaganomics in that book for the way the economy is in the 80s, right? And that's what we hear now.
Glorious?
What?
Reaganomics. Yeah, the economy was great when Reagan took over.
I'm just telling you. I'm just saying, in that comic, instead of fucking shooting $1 billion fucking movie or whatever, they can, like, pay a couple people a couple $1,000 and craft up a story. You know what I mean? They can get ahead of narratives way faster in comics. I wouldn't be surprised if I know comics were the first propaganda. Dr. Seuss was a war propagandist, and then he became a child's author, David, coincidentally. Kind of like those Nazi scientists that cared about the space race all of a sudden. Where was I going with this? Oh, the DI, to kill the IP. They know that they're doing this. Now, we're between House and Cards and Veep. It doesn't matter. Look, at the end of the day, there is a CEO, a CFO, there is a board of directors, and people agree or disagree based on this. And if we apply the lens of the COVID policies, David, I know this isn't the same thing, but if we're looking at people's will of compliance within companies to get their tax reductions and all their tax credits and all their fucking
is it a will of compliance or a fear of not complying?
Well, Elon said stuff on Rogan about, now I know we're kind of on the Elon seesaw bandwagon, which, as anybody should be, is the modern day Rockefeller. But, like, there's got to be some truth to that. Let's say even if half of the time the things, let's say those instances Elon referenced, for example, let's say it happened 50% less and it was 50% less money or 50% less fines. That's still fucking, the idea of that is terrifying enough. The idea that it could happen is terrifying enough. Now, I know we got to have constraints and I'm rambling, but, like, they know, these people greenlight it. They can tell in the sales. You don't just change James Bond. Very rarely do you cold launch something. And it also, Dave, it's kind of the same point we talked about when it came to censoring with social media platforms. You don't willingly divide your cash flow on purpose unless there's some kind of other benefit.
Well, there has to be outside of incentive. There has to be. We kind of talked about this a little bit with the recreation of Snow White that came out recently, where, of course, they couldn't help themselves. They had to make her black. I mean, they made the Little Mermaid black, so of course they'd make Snow White black. They couldn't put real dwarves because that's something.
Little people.
But the movie did abysmal numbers. So, and they knew, they had to have known going in. I don't believe this is Veep. They had to have known going in, this movie is not going to do well. They put a bunch of money into it. They tried to put out some DEI message where Snow White was black because, God forbid, Snow White is white, even though she's white. And the movie did bad. Now, they knew it was going to do bad, so why would they intentionally spend a lot of money to make a movie that's going to fail and they know it's going to fail? And the only answer is there was an incentive for them somewhere.
And you want the real incentive, David? Because here it is. The programming.
Well, it's they got paid to propagandize.
To program you to steal your country from underneath you, to replace you in real time, to replace you with robots. They're filling. I thought of this today, David. I went on the rant about the spoon. They're gonna gradually. We're not getting less plastic in our bodies, right? Like, they're literally turning you into plastic, and then they're gonna have to put a fucking chip in your head to move your body because you're gonna be made of more plastic than meat. Like they're literally turning you into synthetic cyborg in real time every day, microdosing. It's only parts per million, David.
Neil deGrasse
Oh, wait.
Tyson, there he is.
Yeah, there it is. You fuck.
Oh, it's only parts per million.
Really? A
Really?
million times makes
How
a
many
spoon,
parts per
bud.
millions? Yeah, how many parts per millions to make a spoon, Neil? Oh,
But,
it's completely safe, but Neil, this is listed by our own government as a toxic chemical, and it's in drinking water. Yeah, but it's parts per million. Okay, but how much water do I drink? How long does it take for that parts per million to add up?
Well, especially David, when
You know what?
everything's made of that
Here's what I
same
wanna say.
water.
Here's what I want to say to this. I did it again. Here's what I want to say to this. If I would love to talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson about this. Those chemicals in your water are only parts per million. Perfect. Neil, here's a salty glass of water. It's only parts per thousand. Drink up. That's what the ocean is. Go drink the ocean. It's parts per thousand.
It's a good point.
It's only 35 parts per thousand, Neil. Why don't you drink up? Oh, you can't drink that. It'll kill you. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, you'll get delirious and you'll die. You'll get dehydrated. But it's only parts per thousand, Neil. How could that fuck you up?
Yeah, the parts per thousand he's referencing in the million, I forget the scale, but it's some kind of scale based on water. I think that it's the toxicity of things over exposure and potency of the exposure. It's like a graph like this. And water, you can even die of water, right? You get overhydrate or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, literally on pristine, clean drinking water, you could still die if you overindulge.
Yeah,
it's a lot,
it's like
but yes,
you drown your body basically.
Yes. The point is,
it's based on.
It's not realistic, but the point is, eventually, it is doable.
And the only reason, obviously, people, I don't know if you know this, the only reason they have that metric to say, hey, water can kill you, even though it's parts per billion a billion times, is this they need a standard. That's the fucking, what would that be? The placebo would be the water. This is the standard is water. We know everything based off water because everything's a water. I know we're rambling, but yeah, it's to pre-program you to be replaced to turn into plastic. I mean, I don't know what. Dave, that was the other thing I thought. Remember when we always go back in the day nowadays because it's so different to when we started. But you used to try to talk to people. I used to try to tell people that you're eating plastic and plastic in the water and stuff. Like, no, man, birth control in the water. No, man, it's mainline talking points now. People know that you can get cancer. Remember when they said cancer from bottled water in your car? Well, why is there cancer from bottled water in your car if the bottle that it sits in is fine? You know what I mean?
Well, because the bottle it sits in is not fine.
Yeah, it's got cancer inside the fucking bottle. Like, you're giving us cancer explosion, and then they're giving cancer research. That's like, they're engineering us to just get work to get sucked into like, this is crazyville. But now it's just ubiquitous. It's in the fucking ether. People just openly know about it. We have to do something with this. That's like part of this podcast is called the action of like, stop drinking the poison water. Stop buying the polyester clothing. Do what you can. Watch Dave and Ryan on fucking Rumble. Support your local content creator. God forbid.
Personally, I like the taste of the plastic in the water. I think it's delicious.
Yeah. We're at, obviously we've made amends. That's why we shot the program, put our name and faces out there, because you're not going to run away from tyranny. Just like in 1776 when they said fuck England, you don't run away from plastic in the air.
Well, you know what? This is a perfect segue, because let's talk about this. I don't know how much we've talked about this, but you talk about us putting our names and faces out there. I don't know how often we've talked about this, but I really don't respect anon accounts, anonymous people, whatever you want to refer to it as. And that brings me to Cat Turd on X. He's literally one of these people that I don't respect. He's literally making a case that you should blindly follow politicians. If President Trump hasn't earned your trust by now, you're part of the problem. What? Why? That's supposed to be the modern day, right? We're supposed to blindly follow politicians?
But no King's Day, right, David? They were mocking the people about the No King's Day protests, but here they are acting like a king.
Do they not somewhat call for it, though? Like, when people are out here like this, okay, and the No Kings people are absolute retards, that's fine. But like, when you have people like this who are only giving fuel to the fire,
mm-hmm.
Like, what do you expect to happen? You go out there, you say, I blindly follow him, and everything he says is just pure perfection.
How many followers
And
does he have? Cat turd. Like
oh,
he's huge.
it's sizable, yeah, for sure. 3.7 million followers. I'm sorry, but no, it's the opposite. The opposite is true. If you blindly follow politicians, if you blindly trust politicians, you're part of the problem. Blindly trust anybody. I don't blindly trust anyone ever. Literally, sit someone down, talk to them, get to know them. Trust is an earned thing, just like respect is an earned thing. To start at max trust and then work backwards is the complete wrong approach.
You know what's funny, Dave, is because you're talking like that, and it's funny because if people apply that to like a store they go to, like if you go to like a McDonald's and that McDonald's fucked up your order one time real bad, you're like, I will never go to that McDonald's again.
Never.
But
I always forget my barbecue sauce, Ryan.
Yeah, you will fucking revote that politician every year, though.
Every
That
year.
guy just raped your grandchildren's fucking all of everything, and you're like, yeah, he's great.
He
This
did all
dude's
right.
awesome.
I mean, he didn't follow through on a lot of stuff, but he really, I have a lot of faith in him. All right.
It's not like his trading profile outpaces the NASDAQ, okay?
I'll even take it a step further. I'll take it a step further too, because it also excludes a whole nother set of factors that we talk about a lot. Let's assume I completely trust Donald Trump. I never met him a day in my life. I highly doubt Cat Turds met him. Let's assume I completely trust Donald Trump. We're never met him, but I completely trust him. And he goes to DC, a place that we all agree on the right that is completely corrupted. Most of us on the right at this point have gotten to the point where we believe in shadowy elite figures in the dark controlling everything, or believe in the men in suits, as Putin referred to them. So I completely trust Trump when he gets there. But now I know, because I'm on the right and I acknowledge that there's shadowy elites in the background. Do they go away now? Like, what? I don't understand like how this works. Like, Trump's in office now, all these people disappear. I completely trust Trump. Do you trust the people above him? There's no consistency in it at all. Like, maybe Kater doesn't believe in those shadowy people. Maybe he thinks everything is Veep and not House of Cards. I don't know. But I know what he is. He's too cowardly to even have his face out there or his name out there.
Which is the real thing, right? Because it's like you're like Alex always said that the way you like on the way that you actually because it's in being the only thing that makes you silenceable is that you silence yourself, right? Like if you don't put your name and face out there and are willing to take, that's why I encourage people in public. I don't just talk shit on the internet, people. Go out there and fucking shake up your family, like I told you. Do it in the line at the store with their dumbass t-shirts on. Do it. It's fun. But you kind of like test yourself, but
I've literally watched Ryan in line at a restaurant. We're ordering food, and he just debates a guy about
DWI checkpoints. On our lunch break.
Not a lunch break. We're just like in the middle. Oh, let's go
It's like a
Moe's.
Tuesday at 12:35.
I don't even remember how that came up in the middle of a line in the middle of a Moe's, but it did.
You know, and at first I used to get embarrassed. You know, now I might get a little more animated because, you know, the entertainment value. But, you know, that's when I really started realizing like the power in making public debate. Like it's basically like the Socratic method, you know, like you're basically testing people's own beliefs against themselves. But you don't know that unless you know your own beliefs. But how can you test your beliefs if you don't test your beliefs?
For the record,
only way to do that is to have talks, you know.
For the record, too, on the DWI checkpoint thing, we've kind of talked about this in the past, where you're very much in it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment camp. My opinion on it, I agree that's true on the basis that you're not allowed to leave. But I don't think they're allowed to detain you. So, like, if you pull up to a DWI checkpoint and they say, I want to see your license, if you push them, they have to let you go. I'm fairly confident that's the case.
Well, I know cops can lie to you, so I don't know what to fucking believe anyways.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Imagine if an electrician lied to you. You know, imagine if I lied to you. Is all it going to work? Be like, I don't know, Mike. Yeah, it definitely works.
Just trust me. Just trust me, dude. You never met me. Trust me.
Just trust me. It's max trust.
And by the way, the other thing about the Anon accounts, like I'm supposed to cat turd, don't know who the guy is. I might have met him, I might not have met him. I don't know. I don't even know who the fuck he is. So
I
I'm
remember.
supposed to just be like, hey, this guy I don't know says I should trust this other guy I don't know blindly. So I guess I have to. Like I don't like
I
how do
like
you
how
have
you're
pull? How do you have
yeah,
push?
I like how you're using him being a coward for credibility because he doesn't want to show his face, and he's like, "Oh, I do this to be private so I don't get kickback." And
Yeah, trust
you
me, I'm a
know,
coward. Oh, okay.
yeah, this
I
is the
don't
Alex
trust
effect.
cowards.
Why haven't they killed Alex Jones? Unless he's part of the system, which would be the ultimate conspiracy.
Well,
But it's
that's
because he's
interesting.
been
Well, that's kind of interesting though, isn't? In theory, if you're an anonymous account, aren't you easier to kill if they find out who you are? If they find out who you are,
That's why Alex always did shit live. Give me document can. Like if this place blow, that's why Alex didn't record shit and then release it. He went fucking live. Fuck it, we do it. That's why we fucking go live. Because if they fucking, what are you gonna blow me up on the air? You just make me look like Thomas Jefferson, dude. Do it. Do it. That's why they signed the Declaration, didn't they? And it set them free. George Washington will be remembered forever and never had children.
could you imagine John Hancock instead of the big, beautiful signature right in the middle? He did some like really small, microscopic scribble. Who the fuck's
Q.
this
Find
guy?
Q. Find Q, Dave. Find Q. How the fuck am I gonna find Q? He's hiding behind fucking memes. Oh, I gotta get the Cicadia 911 fucking fuck you people. Fuck you people. By the time I figure out your little method, I'm gonna have 5 more spoons in my brain. I'm not even gonna have the brain capacity to fucking. You want me to rub the spoons to make fire? I don't know. It's jeez, dude. Yeah, Alex always said that you protect yourself when you speak out against these people because when you are public, even if you're a nobody, and you get it right and they take you out and they prove, look at Vince Foster, all these other people, the double homicide, the girl that found dead, the fucking Russian vaccine guy, like that, like if
Oh, by
that
the way,
guy,
we haven't gotten into the and at some point there was like a lot of backlog stuff because I was off for a week. But we didn't get into the fact that a congresswoman was assassinated, and I don't know if the man died or not. Last I knew, he was in critical condition, but she did die by a masked man who just showed up, knocked on their door, pretended to be a police officer, and he was like rocking a purge mask. It was sketchy. Not really. It was more like a Michael Myers mask, kind of.
might as
But
well
just
be.
showed up, pretended to be a cop, shot him dead, drove off to the next house.
Was the only Democrat
And,
to vote against the bill.
and by the way, the picture of the man in the we'll do this another time, but the picture of the man in the mask and then the picture of the person they arrested, hilarious.
Not
They're
even
not the
close.
same body type. Not it's like the dude gained like 40 pounds overnight. Was it the stress from getting caught? Dude, they don't even remotely look the same.
They don't even fucking try anymore. Because what are people going to do? They're telling you you're a dumb clump of cells and it's not worth anything. When really just go outside and say, hey, enough. I've had enough. Today's the day, dude. Just take it back, dude. Start to shake the tree, man. Don't go shit in someone's lawn and wait for them to come outside. Fucking dare you. My buddy actually did that one time, dude. In the middle of the night, he went over there. They were neighbors, shit in his lawn, right? And his mom.
Why is this a thing that people like to do now?
Dude, we were 14.
There was
So
a guy who
our
shit. Wait,
Our
no,
friend's mom came
we
out
went
in the morning.
we went at different times to Bosie's. I was gonna say there was a kid in my class in the collision class who shit in the floor. Did you have Mr. K?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, God damn it, who the fuck shit on the floor?
Okay, folks. That guy is such a dork. He was good, but he's just
Sorry, your buddy shit on the lawn.
he shit on the lawn. Our friend's mom picked it up the next day, and we laughed so fucking hard. She thought it was the dog, dude.
They don't look the same. Human shit and dog shit does not look the same.
They had a little fucking dog too. That was the best part, dude. Like, what happened here? It's fucking. Anyways, I'm kidding. Oh yeah, dude. They're not even trying. Just enough's enough. I know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. I catch you every day. Dave catches them every day. That article with the CCP yesterday was fucking. Furious. They do they tell you yourselves, man.
Ryan, we're right there. We're almost at the Tucker and Ted Cruz interview. We got a few clips from there, but before we get to that, there's one thing that's semi-related. It's a clip that I think is it's something. Yikes! Here's Randy Fine, who's. Whew.
You were well aware of Iran's influence on groups, terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah. In an interview, though, last month, you said this when asked about how to treat Gaza.
In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here. There is something deeply, deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated.
Did you really mean to say that the U.S. should use nuclear weapons against a people because there's something wrong with their culture?
Of course not. What I was saying is that we didn't negotiate with evil in World War II. We defeated the Germans. We defeated the Japanese using any means that were necessary. And the same needs to be done in Gaza. Nuking Gaza would be a terrible idea. The fallout would drift into Israel. It would kill the hostages. The point that I was making was,
but you're not worried about it
killing,
for example, women and children in Gaza?
It's a fair question.
You're right. You did do the exact same thing in World War II. You did conspire with both sides of the conflict so that you could rape the whole world and rebuild it in your image, so that you had unlimited unilateral control behind multinational corporations that are backed up by Rothschild banking and Luciferian ideas that are propped up through secret societies like Skull and Bones and the Bohemian Grove. But I'm told it's a conspiracy theorist, but you openly talk about nuclear warhead as if we're not in the knowledge that the Nazis helped us get into space, as if Hitler didn't maybe possibly almost 100% go to fucking South America. You've lied about everything my entire life, but I'm supposed to believe you now, Mr. Republican there. Fox News
you should blindly trust. If you don't blindly trust them, anonymous accounts who name themselves after cats.
Pussies? After pussies. After pussies. Yeah. After pussies. A man is hiding behind a pussy. How quaint. These people know they literally know exactly what they're doing. They spend all the money and all the time on. If I can chat GPT psychology, I bet you if I chat GPT, how do I seduce somebody with psychology, reverse psychology, it will tell you step by step. So if I can do that with chat GPT, a congressman, the woman on the news, I don't know, the news media agency, the people at the CEO. I mean, part of like Dave and I coming on the podcast and sharing clips of like, I don't know, Patrick Bet-David and Chris Williamson and Joe Rogan and Jocko and all these, Jordan Peterson, all these amazing people, the mindset videos we had. There was that good stint there that I did a lot of self-improvement on this channel because I was going through it and I wanted to share my experience and what it put me. But those people all are top people. They talk about all the mindset all these people have. They know all the shit we're talking about here. It's crazy. This is crazy. These people, if they're it's so funny to me now that they're referencing World War II because that guy is really just talking to that old generation. It's just an echo chamber. I know that. But it's nice that we're able to rip it apart because everything that they did in World War II was a fucking lie, probably. Look at how fat and dumb we are. Well, I'm supposed to believe that it was fine then, that Eisenhower cared then. Those men were noble. Yeah, I get you. My grandfather went and fought a good war. We all did. But the guys at the tippy top, those corporations that Eisenhower warned about, were not good men. They funded the war. Go ahead, people on the left. Eisenhower probably was a good president if you look compared to a lot of. Sure, he did. Sure, I'll drink your Kool-Aid. But like, it didn't matter. PepsiCo is bigger than the government. That's what that is. And that's why they want this. I know we all know this, but like, dude, they have $1 trillion for a Bills stadium, but there's homeless people in Buffalo. I know the Bills need a stadium, but you know what? I should be able to go watch a ball game without worrying about getting mugged.
It's only a couple billion. You're exaggerating, man.
It's only a couple billion now.
Only a couple billion. You can't feed that many homeless people with a few $1 billion.
It's not like you could build a whole fucking.
And it's not. By the way, it's not like they used the tax money from the state to do it or anything. You know.
Yeah, he definitely paid for that all himself, right? But I don't get a say about it, right? Because the corporations that fucking have all the money and all the power.
Would you want to be a part of how your state spent your money?
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Tucker interview, Ryan. Here's the thing. Just a quick caveat. In 2016, correct? That was the first Trump run at a presidency. And since I do not blindly follow people, I was not immediately the biggest fan of Donald Trump. Still not the biggest fan of Donald Trump. We've always defined ourselves as defenders, not supporters. I did like a lot of what Ted Cruz had to say. And I think Rand Paul was in on that. I'm trying to think some of the other names that were there, but those were kind of like the three bigger ones. I think Marco Rubio was there, and there was that idiot from Ohio that never wanted to go away. But I did like Ted Cruz. Out of that pack, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, those were two solid guys. I still like Rand Paul a lot. And to some degree, I still like Ted Cruz a lot. We still agree on a lot of things, certainly. I just wanted to lay that out before we got into this because I don't want people to think I'm like hate Ted Cruz or other Republicans or stuff. I don't. Like, the reason I'm not in the Republican Party by any stretch of the imagination, but I tend to vote for Republicans because on a lot of on the bulk, if you look on as the bigger picture on the whole, that the Republican Party is mostly the things that I tend to believe in. Now you're going to get the good with the bad. You're going to get the good economic policy.
Lindsey Graham.
On the whole, Ryan, you're going to get the good economic policy, but then you're going to follow up with the fact that a handful of them are still neocons. I get it, but is it still better than voting for someone else who's going to completely drain you of your entire paycheck and then make James Bond black and gay? I don't know. Is that better? Doesn't seem like it. So with that said, the Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz interview, I've gotten a good chunk of the way through it, and there's a handful of clips here. But as always, when we do these clips, highly recommend going to X, Tucker Carlson, and watching the whole thing in its full context. This is Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz having a little discussion about AIPAC.
So I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel...
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship.
Is AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that. AIPAC, a lot of times, AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like, there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC. And AIPAC...
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
It's
when was the last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on AIPAC,
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets...
No.
I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government. And I don't... It's not.
No.
It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay. So it's not has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay. But it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all. And if
it's not true.
No.
How much contact do you think AIPAC leaders have for the government of Israel?
No idea. I imagine some. I think the government of Israel is often frustrated with AIPAC because AIPAC's not nearly strong enough.
Do you think there's any coordination between the government of Israel and AIPAC?
Do they talk? Sure. If you're lobbying for more U.S. trade, would you want people in the U.S., Mexico, the government? Sure. Like if.
So I'm not mad about that. There are a million countries that lobby Washington. I like a lot of those countries, including Israel.
But AIPAC are Americans. They're not Israelis.
Hold on. There are tons of Americans who lobby on behalf of foreign governments. I know them. I'm related to some of them. I know how it works. I'm from here. So my question is not, is it outrageous that foreign governments lobby the United States? They all do, okay, including Israel. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true. And why
what you're saying is false.
Why are they registered as a foreign lobby?
Because they're not.
They're not a foreign lobby, David. It's not Veep. It's not. It's just Veep. It's just House of Cards, guys. The truth gets in the way. People familiar with the matter. You know why I laugh, David? I know you know this. Go ahead. I can wait. I have plenty to say about this.
It's just funny because it's funny because Ted Cruz is trying to play on the technicality that it's not a foreign PAC because it's an American PAC, and it is an American PAC. But the A is for American and the I is for Israeli. So is it a foreign PAC? No, it's an American PAC. Okay, that's factual. Sure. What do they want though? That's the context that matters. It doesn't matter if they're technically American. What matters is what are they lobbying for? So he tries to turn it on this like weird technicality, like, well, they're Americans.
Yeah. Okay, this is making your car 51.
What are they looking for?
Yeah, this is like when they make your car in America, 51% of it can say that it's an American car because 49% of it is, it's made in other places but assembled in America. Like it's the made in America. You break it open, it says made in China underneath it, you know? But with politics, David, and apparently nuclear missiles, I'm supposed to levy nuclear missiles. That's what AIPAC wants, allegedly.
I'm sure they would. And he also tries to play it off like, well, they're not that effective. How much does that matter? I love relating things to make it more personal, but like, Ryan, if you and your girl were out at the bar and like some dude was trying to hit on her, but he wasn't very effective at it, would you just let it slide? Or would you be like, dude, stop? Well, he's not very effective at it. Okay, but like he's still trying. Like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. They're just like, I'm right here.
AIPAC, they're not you would just let them. They're not particularly effective. Okay, well they're still trying. Like, well, they're not foreign, they're American. Okay, but what are they lobbying for? Well, for a foreign country. Okay, well, do you see the problem? Like, at least, like, do you at least see the problem with this? The problem,
yeah.
The number one, I've said this 100 times on the show, the number one most agreeable thing in politics should be that our money stays here in the United States. The fact that anybody disagrees with that is fucking mind-blowing to me. Well, it shouldn't fund foreign countries like Ukraine, as all Republicans seem to unanimously agree. Not all Republicans, I shouldn't say that, but a large chunk of Republicans, especially in the America First movement, were very much on the our money shouldn't go to Ukraine train. But then when it became Israel, well, they're our greatest ally. We have to give them money. But AIPAC's not very effective. Israel is our greatest. Even if you concede that Israel is our greatest ally, fine. But the money should still stay here. And we certainly shouldn't fund both sides of the war.
Dave, you showed the screenshot Tulsi Gabbard saying they got no weapons. 2 weeks later, 2 months later, whatever it is, they got weapons.
Yeah, March 25, Tulsi Gabbard.
March, April, May, June.
Ayatollah Khomeini killed the program in 2003. There appears to be no production of nukes in Iran in March of this year. And then fast forward to June, and they're building nukes, and we have to strike them in a defensive preemptive strike. Oh, okay.
Let's hit the media outlets. We definitely got weapons of mass destruction there. People don't know what war looks like. Like, I don't either, but
it's not. Well, oh my God, this is the other thing I've been hearing people say. Well, there's not a war going on. They're just. I'm trying to remember how they phrased it. It's not a war. It's just
conflict.
No, it was like no, this isn't a war. These are just actions of war or something. It was the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. I wish I could find that clip.
Are you about to roll another clip?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say one.
Yeah.
It might be like a minute, but first of all, to Tucker Carlson, pushing politicians. I kind of briefly spoke about Joe Rogan. It seems that Joe Rogan is the good cop and Tucker Carlson is the bad cop when it comes to getting these.
They would make an outstanding good cop, bad cop.
Well, look at Rogan, the way he handled the FBI director, and look at how Tucker is handling. And then take their thing. I didn't really put it all together with Tucker. You remember how I always kind of dogged him a little bit? Like, how did you not fucking realize that everything was a con? But he grew up in D.C. His entire family worked in the system. Like, it's, but now that he's like, you know what? I see through the lies. People are upset about it.
I do love seeing Tucker push back, though. That's
yeah.
We need more of that. Even if you don't agree with Tucker on everything, don't you agree that it's refreshing to see somebody like him push back on politicians, as opposed to now contradict this with anonymous accounts that say we should blindly follow politicians, and now I have Tucker Carlson who's pushing back in real life with his face, with his name, with his family on the line, with his legacy on the line. Who do you respect more?
With his own money, his own balls, Tucker's dick's getting bigger by the second up there. He's pushing a politician in real time.
I'm telling you, as soon as Tucker got rid of that bow tie, he became a glorious individual.
He was, dude, something pissed him off, dude. And then it all clicked. He woke up. Maybe it was a dream, God, whatever.
Maybe it was literally that Trump thing. Like, maybe that completely shattered his worldview.
Yeah.
And then wiretap, because that's what he said on Rogan. He said, that's kind of what changed me politically. But like, maybe it changed him more than politically.
Well, you got to kind of wonder. I wonder if he started feeling like he has a responsibility because he like promoted the system apparatus. Like when you start, what was one of my biggest things, Dave, back in the day, other than chemtrails and the food, was the NSA spy grid and spying on you and canceling you and tracing you.
And we literally referred to you as Snowden because when you wear glasses, you look exactly like Ed Snowden.
Yeah, and Tucker like was doing that. He was feeding people the data to run on, you know, like he's got to look in the mirror and be like, I fucking helped corruption. It is my duty. Like he's God-fearing. It's my duty to like smash these politicians back. It's about time. Rogan isn't going to make him uncomfortable because Rogan's presence make those people uncomfortable. He's probably formidable to be around Rogan. You know, he's Rogan, but Tucker, people kind of like think he's just a dork, but he's super sharp, dude. And I just love that he's pushing back. This is what we need. This is what I meant. You know, people are kind of taking Rogan like the soft guy, and Rogan's going through the like real relaxed approach of just like letting these people talk shit and it will come out. The truth will come out. Tucker's like, no, I think you're a little uncomfortable. No, I don't like that answer. No.
Well, and then not just accepting what they have to tell them. That is important. I don't just accept your answer. Let's explore it. Well, we could do a deep dive. I don't want to.
On what basis, David? On what basis?
He said, I don't want to. Ted Cruz goes, we could do a deep dive if you'd like. Tucker Carlson goes, I don't want to do a deep dive. I want to do a shallow dive. Just answer the question. I love
That's some shit I would say, dude.
I love that. I love that almost as much, Ryan, almost as much as I love 1775 coffee. If you still haven't tried 1775 coffee, Ryan, now is your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. It's only 1,000 units, so you got to get on it fast. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, Ryan, the smooth, medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee. I'm not going to lie, that sounds disgusting. For a clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, Ryan.
Is that the ad read or you put that in there?
I don't know what ad read you're referring to, Ryan. A frothier, stronger enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 7075 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, Ryan, it is. Go to 7075coffee.com, 1775coffee.com/studio, and grab your starter kit before they're gone, Ryan. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. Ryan, are you ready for the next clip?
That if I ever do ad reads, I'm gonna tell the company I want like fucking 3 lines. I want a 3-line read.
Because that was a quick 10-paragraph line read.
Just
super fast, couple chapters.
You have to take a sip of water after reading the fucking ad read.
And I'm thirsty. I don't have a gold bottle. It's a plastic bottle. I got a spoonful. I would love.
I got a golden plastic spoon. Golden plastic spoon, Dave. I'm just ladling out information.
It's honestly, I enjoyed it. It's fun. Ryan, the next clip here is
freedom is it with a plastic.
The next clip here is Ted Cruz making a case that we have a biblical duty to protect
murder children. Are you fucking
biblical duty to protect Israel?
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. That's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the.
It's in Genesis, but
pull out the phone.
You're quoting a. You don't have context for it. You don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's your theology. I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker,
get up, Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking.
Oh, you got him.
Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49
asking
questions.
The senator.
That's what Genesis. That's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
the descendants of Abraham
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
But just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
That's what God was talking about in Genesis.
I do, but
that country's existed since when?
For thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
Nice, Tucker. Gotcha, bitch. Dude, how funny was it to hear that it was a nation for thousands of years, and then there was a time that it wasn't, and then 70 years ago it became a nation? And that doesn't sound like a con job. You imagine if we just gave America up for 500 years and then we're like, we'll take this back now.
I don't know. The one point's semi interesting because he makes the claim that this is like
a divine.
The fact that like this.
It's like the modern crusade.
This segment of the Bible like completely molds his view on this, and then Tucker says, well, where is it? He says, I don't know. And then Tucker's like, well, it's in Genesis, but anyway, like it molded your worldview. You don't know where it is. He knows more about it than you do. and yet you've used it to shape your entire worldview? That doesn't make sense.
Don't trust tyrants, but I don't know anything about the Bible that I'm believing what I'm following.
And then, I mean, whatever. I mean, like,
I don't know. I think it's the whole I'm a Christian and that's what it's bullshit. Look, I'm not the one to talk about referencing the good book, people, but don't paint me purple and pull the wool over my eyes.
I think we, and then in general, do a pretty good job of on the show. I don't pretend that I've read the Bible, that I am a big follower of the Bible or religion in general. I've been fairly clear about where I stand. I believe in God, but I'm not really religious. But it's interesting that, like, we're very upfront. We're like, listen, at the end of the day, even though I'm not religious, the one thing I will say is that it's clear to me that this country has gone completely downhill the farther away from religion it goes. And I know that sounds hypocritical because I'm not religious, but it just seems to be that way. For 30,000 foot view for me,
David, is it hypocritical though?
Downhill.
Yeah, but is it hypocritical though if you have the self-awareness to realize that maybe if you put more faith in your private life, you'd have a better life, and if everybody extended that outward, it would be a better place?
I don't think it is hypocritical. I think I could understand how someone would think it is hypocritical.
Right. I'm just trying to paint that like psychologically, your statement is actually more powerful than you going to church every week, if you understand what I'm saying. It's like you're witnessing the negative effect of not doing the positive thing, right? Which is almost more powerful than doing the positive thing. Because I know most positive things just keep leading positive things, right? Negative things lead negative things. And I don't mean this like an energy thing, but this whole notion of like the further we get away from religion, humans worship something. We're all worshiping something. It might be money. It might be fame. It might be glory. It might be women. It might be drugs. It might be mental illness. It might be your fucking ADHD. I don't know. It might be books, but like, we gotta worship.
Is that not? I could be wrong about this. Maybe it's not part of the commandments, but it is a major part of religion, but or Christianity in general.
Thou shalt worship.
But isn't it? Well, that's the thing. Isn't that like a whole thing? Like, literally,
you have no other God before me.
Isn't that like one of the major pillars? And we can see I can see, at least in society, what seems to happen when, as a whole, and I'm not saying everyone has to be Christians by any means, but as a whole, as the society built on Christianity gets away from Christianity, it seems like the society seems to fall apart. And maybe it's other factors. But to your point, I don't think it is from other factors. I think it's because once you get away from, I think people in general tend to, whether they know it's worship or not, tend to worship something in general. So if you're not worshiping God, or if you're not worshiping God, you're finding other things to fill something that may be a biological void that you don't even know you have.
Right. And to go further to your point, David, maybe the reason our society is falling apart is because religion and our society were so tightly woven that you can't have one without the other. And as one started to slide, the other one can't compensate. There's not enough money to fill the void of no God. There's not enough drugs to fill the void of a God. There's not enough, like, you will choose video games.
Interesting. Like, because the one thing is so powerful that you're trying to replace it with things that can't be that powerful.
It's the same knock I'll say to that fucking robot that is smarter than me and handsomer. I will be your God. It doesn't matter. You can fucking go find better, dude. You can have a better rush. You can do meth, the highest dopamine. Go ahead. Go run faster than me. Go build cool shit. Go have a better imagination than me. But your imagination came from my imagination. I imagine your imagination, Mr. Robot. I'll imagine all your million little things. Even though I'll never be able to think them, I still can imagine that you're imagining them. I will always be your God. It's the same thing. See, I have David, greatest imagination of all kind. Of all time. But it's all imaginations. It's not even mine. It's collective, goddammit. It's not even my imagination. I just can say it all. It's like a fucking door. You just open the shit. Hit you.
Ryan,
And then people think you're crazy. But then you watch somebody fucking throw a football 900 yards like he was just born to do it. It's like, yeah, sure. Sorry, dude.
No, you're good. This is Ted Cruz acknowledging and defending the fact that Israel spies on us.
Does Mossad share all of its intelligence?
Oh, probably not, but they share a lot. We don't share all of our intelligence with them. We share a lot. It's a close alliance.
Gives a fuck.
In the United States?
Oh, they probably do, and we do as well. And
this eye for an eye thing's dumb.
Dan
Was that the
Crenshaw
end of the
can't go
clip?
eye for eye. No, I thought you told me to pause it.
No, I'm sorry. I thought that was the end of the clip. That's why I started talking. I apologize.
And friends and allies spy on each other, and I assume all of our allies spy on us.
And that's okay with you?
You know what? One of the things about being a conservative is that you're not naive and utopian. You don't think humans are all. Part of the reason socialism doesn't work is the mantra from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs doesn't work. As a conservative, I assume people act in their rational self-interest.
So it's conservative to pay people to spy on you?
It's conservative to recognize that human beings act in their own self-interest, and every one of our friends spies on us. And I'm not.
Do you like it? That's my question. I'm not asking whether they have motive to do it. Of course they do. I understand that, and by the way, I'm not mad at them. And you're an American lawmaker, so I just want to know. Hold on, I want to know your attitude. Yeah. You said that your guiding principle, in fact, the only principle, the only criterion.
I said guiding, the overwhelming. I wouldn't say only.
Is it in America's interest? Is it in America's interest for Israel to spy on us, including on the president?
It is in America's interest to be closely allied with Israel because we get huge benefits for it. And you want to see the clearest.
But I just want to stop on the spying for a second. That it takes place, as you know, and including on the president of the United States and several precedents. And I just want to know if that's okay and why is it okay? Wouldn't an American lawmaker say to a client state, you're not allowed to spy on us? I'm sorry. I know why you want to. I'm not mad at you, but you're not allowed to.
Sure.
And I don't care for it. I don't want to be spied on by you. It's kind of weird not to say that, but you don't seem able to say that.
You know what's funny is they don't even do the same thing anymore about the NSA. Oh, if you got nothing to hide, you don't got nothing to worry about. The reason he told you, they know it's not legal. You can't spy on American citizens. It's fucking called espionage. Am I wrong? Can I go can I go to fucking England, Dave, and just film a cop? Come on now. What, because we're so used to nothing to hide? Spy, look, the word spy is so fucking dude, they know your fucking heart rate. They know how many hours you slept last night. But you're going to tell me that you're not spying on me. You're collecting all of our data. Those are different things. So you can plug it in a computer to predict the future. I'm not dumb. And yeah, of course, Dave, I'm sure they're blackmailing some people with all that information. They're just that mass metadata that's not important, right?
I'll say this. I don't agree with Ted Cruz's overall point here, but I do understand. I get one thing he's saying, and I agree with him. One thing you can't do is live in a world where you have unrealistic expectations. And I think it is true that you have to go in conceding some ground in understanding, especially with the fact that we're doing it. But you have when you make policy or when you do any action, you have to do it within current borders of reality. Like you can't just do it and hope that it all works out because everybody's good and gracious and nobody. So I kind of understand where he's trying to go with it, but to Tucker's point, I don't know, has anyone said the fact, first of all, we're openly acknowledging the fact that we're getting spied on by our allies, which to me is weird. Which means to me that they don't even see a problem in it. Right? The fact that he openly, casually was like, yeah, they spy on us, tells me that Ted Cruz doesn't think that's a problem. And if you don't think it's a problem, why? I'm not saying it shouldn't be expected. It should. I get it. I expect it. I expect it too. But it doesn't mean it should be allowed.
Well, especially if we're the most powerful military, right? Like, that's the thing also that's being omitted here. Well, we benefit from it. Tell me how we benefit when I can microwave you from 5 miles away and hit a piece of popcorn. Unless they have it too, David, of course. Unless we're not the most powerful military.
That would be conspiracy theory, right?
Appear
Only
strong
we
when
have
you are
space lasers.
Yeah, appear strong when you are weak, David. When you are weak, appear strong. 48 laws of power. First rule, never outshine the master. Well, Israel spies on us because we spy on them. Never outshine the master. Right, David? Well, we do it too. Never outshine. Is the master Israel. You said you were commanded by God. I'm pretty sure America was founded by God, wasn't it, Ted Cruz? Divine intervention. George Washington had a horse shot out from underneath him 3 different times. Divine intervention, huh? More worried about Israel, though, hey? I do agree with Tucker that Israel was the son of Noah, I believe. It is weird and interesting to see Ted Cruz literally not be able to just answer a simple thing without shaming the United States. The United States should be able to spy on everybody. You know why? We have the best military. If those countries had good borders and good military, they would catch our spies, right, David? Spies wouldn't get into their country if they had good border policies, if they had good lawmakers, and they had good technology and military and infrastructure, right? Am I wrong? Isn't that what makes a good nation? Is borders and security? Surveillance of like important shit? Protection? Mr. Ted Cruz, that I got to approach the world with a certain kind of reality behind it. I'm not going to let you shame me. I don't care that the United States spies on the whole world. I don't want the world spying on us. And you know what? Every country feels the exact same way, except they can't stop everybody. That's the difference.
Well, and the other thing that's interesting about that's literally what you just said is literally America first. And what you just said acknowledges that every country should, and it's reasonable that they would put their own country first. Like,
If you were to take,
I completely expect us to spy on other countries and tell them, if you figure it out, stop us. Good luck. And I fully expect that Israel would do the same thing for Israel, because duh, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do as a nation things that are in the best interests of you and your nation?
well, David, that would lead the credence that some people in this nation have been just using America to make a bunch of fucking money and sell off foreign assets to all these companies and fucking black water operations, or provide, like, I don't know, military apparatuses for these people, or Black Hawk helicopters, or contracts, or fucking assassination attempt, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, we're talking I don't really think people realize how militarized the world is. Like, everything has a military application before it ever has a civilian purpose, just so you know. Like, by your ballpoint pen, the 7,000th reason that it exists is to write your name. The 6,999 other things is to kill somebody somehow or some way, or some military application. Just so you people know. Yeah. And you know what, David? To go further, if you were to ask every major world leader right now, if you could shine a crystal ball and have 1776 and the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution happen in your country, would you do it? They would all say yes. Every country on earth would pick to be America. I'm tired of everybody acting like it isn't the case. It's not my fault that Africa never became one country. It's not my fault that Europe never became one country. It's not my fault that Asia never became one country. It's not my fault that the Mediterranean never became one country and the Middle East never became one country. It's not my fault that South America never became one country. Tell me how come it's only in North America, in the United States of America, that we're all one country of 50 different states, David? We all figured it out, but we're being shamed by the rest of the world. We have the grand experiment, not you. You don't get to tell me that we're wrong. We have the experiment, not you. Which is why it's crazy to me that we're being shamed for having our own country. Well, we do it to them too.
It's also why Europe created the EU.
It's the only way they could compete. That's why OPEC exists. Israel can't compete. Israel wouldn't survive without the United States. Are you fucking kidding me? The only Jewish place surrounded by Muslims? that have been fighting for thousands of years? Are you serious? Tell me how else that fucking place has borders. So I don't even get into the Christian Muslim thing because it's just too. I'm not the person for that. But
I will say Israel does have, and we could certainly talk about why, but Israel does have a uniquely strong military, given their situation, and maybe that some of that stems from the fact that they've been forced to, because the position they're in, where it's the only Jewish nation in the middle of a bunch of nations that literally their mission statement is to destroy Israel. I think that would tend to make you bulky on the defense.
Well, also historically, that place has been ravaged by war for thousands of years, so it's been conquered, fortified, conquered, fortified, conquered, fortified, conquered, fortified, back and forth, back and forth. So
well,
yeah,
it has, which is why I always pushed back when Kevin would say this, and I and respect Kevin obviously, but when Kevin come on and he's like, "Well, Israel stole everyone's land." Okay, first of all, I hate that argument for two reasons. One, the United States. Actually, I'm not even going to say just the United States. Every country ever on planet Earth historically has stolen land from somebody, because that's just what happens. Like you gain land. Actually, the United States has done it less than other nations, but you gain land through strength and power. The United States purchased it. They really did. I mean, the United States purchased a good chunk of of the United States. But he always complained about Israel just ravaging and stealing land from everybody, and it's like, but historically that's not accurate. It was back and forth for thousands of years. So then to just look at Israel now and say that Israel doesn't deserve their land, like, okay, but why did another nation deserve it 200 years ago? The fact is, it's their land now. So to make policy based on the fact that somebody else should own it because they used to own it, to pick that small window of time. We talked about this with Ukraine and Russia. Oh, that's Ukrainian land. It is Ukrainian land now until Russia takes it. That's historically how this has worked.
Yeah, people are acting like war is like your emotions, that just because you got your feelings hurt, that other person.
You can't have that. You can't have that. That's Ukraine's land, okay, until they fucking take it, and then what are you going to do about it? That's how this used to work.
Yeah, well, now it works that, like, hey, that's Ukraine's land. Like, no, it's not. It's Russian land. It's like, hey, United States, that's Ukraine's land. And we're like, that's Ukraine's land. And that's been our foreign policy for 100 years.
There's one last clip, and in this one I only play this because this was before the interview actually dropped. This clip came out, and a bunch of people... what do you say, by the way, now that it's not Twitter? Re-X'd it? They retweeted it, saying that it was gotcha journalism, which I thought was ridiculous, because the idea to me that asking questions of a man who makes foreign policy and expecting him to know the answer, to me doesn't sound like gotcha journalism, but apparently that was the take of everybody here. Here's Tucker Carlson asking questions to a man who makes foreign policy.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's, it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
what
predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who claims
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims you're not trying to murder Trump.
I'm not saying that.
Who can't figure out the idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump?
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here, because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
Israel.
High
stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
Because they can't. Yeah, you can't tell people that they're in World War III, David, because it's a multifaceted operation. It's an economic warfare. It's a psychological warfare. It is a social warfare. It is a family warfare. It is a religious warfare. It's a warfare on warfare, David.
Put the air quotes gotcha journalism to the side, because the bigger story there is the Freudian slip of the century when a senator from a country that says we're not involved in a war with Iran says, yeah, I do believe they're trying to kill Trump. That's why we're bombing them right now. Wait a minute. We're doing what? Oh, well, not us. No, we're not. We're helping Israel bomb them. The fuck does that mean?
No wonder it was so easy to start 9/11.
We're in the cockpit with their pilots. Like, what do you mean we're helping them bomb them? They have their own planes. They have their own bombs. Are we doing it, or are they doing that? Or do you think we are one nation? Because, APAC, who's not that effective.
Super not effective. I just, Israel spies on us, but we spy on them. So, it's only fair. Eye for an eye, David. Kind of acting like he's our children here. Israel and the United States are siblings.
Again, like I said, give me the choice all day long. I'll take Israel over Iran. Give me the choice. I'll pick them every time. Every time I'm taking Israel over Iran. The point is, this Donald Trump won primarily on an anti-interventionalist, peace president, no new wars and all this. That was a big part of Trump's victory, and he's still in this mode where we're denying the fact that we're going to war with Israel, even though we're moving a bunch of military equipment around to get it closer to Iran, coincidentally, I'm sure. And
maybe it's only like a couple boots on the ground, David, not
and the fact that
we were 6
and the fact we were going to have a peace deal, and everyone on Earth knew we were trying to have peace talks with Iran, and Israel struck them anyway, even though we were having peace talks a day later, and obviously that was going to kill the peace talks. And then Trump says we weren't a part of it, but it's kind of hard to imagine that he wouldn't have known that was going to happen. I don't know, just none of it makes any sense. I would rather the United States came out and said, you know what, I truly would rather this. I'd rather the United States came out and blatantly said, Israel's our greatest ally, we're going to war with Iran for Israel, than to try to play this tiptoe game where we're not involved. No, we're only going to attack them if they attack us, and we're the same thing with Ukraine. No boots on the ground except for the 14 boots on the ground. We're just out of this. We're just doing proxy wars. We're only supplying the equipment for everybody to bomb each other. I don't like this game. I don't like this game we're playing. Either be all in or be all out. And when you go all in, you go all in for the win. You don't go all in for a decade to topple a regime and hopefully get a better one. You go all in to destroy and just like it used to be, Hey, Russia, you can't come in here. That's our land. Well, it's my land now. So if we're going all in, that's what we're doing. Just so we're clear, this is how it should be. I'm either out or I'm all in. I beat you, and guess what? Iran is America now. Sorry. We're not playing this fucking game where even though we could crush them in 6 months to a year, we're not playing this game where we could dominate them, but we just want to bring democracy to Iran.
We're just there to help the Iraqi freedom, David.
It's just one of the 7 nations, Ryan.
Just, one of those Iraqi freedoms.
What was the I'm trying to remember what it was. Was it 7 countries in 5 years? What was the plan?
Yeah, Iraq, Iran. Yeah, you're talking about David Rumsfeld, right? Or was that
no, it was
Harry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger said they're going to attack 7 nations in 5 years. It was like Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan.
and then we literally went through all of them. It was like a conspiracy when it first leaked, and then like with everything, it was conspiracy at first, and then as history went on, we went, holy shit, we actually went to war with all those countries. I'm sorry, we didn't go to war because it wasn't declared. We conducted actions of war against those countries.
I don't know, dude. I assume that was that.
That's it.
Well, we got pulled off Facebook because Facebook is a bunch of pussies. So apparently,
we're not pulled off Facebook. Well, it says.
What was the
hold
threat?
on, what did it say? Hold on, what did it say? I'll bring it up. It said something like we're missing out on
ad revenue. So once again, support your local content creators. Watch us on Rumble. Most importantly, support the program through Rumble by the sponsors, the coffee and.
It said.
Don Jr.'s book.
It said there's a payout issue with your account. To keep getting paid. I didn't know we were getting paid from Facebook in the first place.
Me neither, David. That's weird.
Your page lost access to some monetization tools, Ryan. Not all of them.
Just 98% of them?
Well, just some of them.
Some of all of them?
Yeah, just some of them. I didn't know
five out of 7 countries.
I can tell you I didn't see a dime from Facebook yet, so I don't know what they meant by keep getting paid, but maybe John's taking it from Facebook. I'm taking it from Rumble, and Ryan's taking one for the team.
Yeah, I take it in the ass. Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest podcast in all of human history. As always, David, I appreciate you most for your time, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Remember, get the sponsors, support your local content creator, and
don't shit in anyone's yards.
If you shit in someone's yard, make sure you
don't text them and tell them you did it.
Yeah, don't text them and tell them that you did it.
Also, stay off Reddit. There's dark corners of the internet you don't need to be sniffing.
4chan, 8chan, 12chan.
I will assure you, there is no circadian rhythm on the other side of the thing you're chasing, people. Millions of dollars doesn't fucking fix the void, but you know what? If I had millions of dollars, I'd fix a void. So until then, Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble. I'm out. See you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll have more of my story for you tomorrow.
Thanks,
I can't wait. I'm going to be licking my lips.